Hey guys, Ryan Dement, True Podcast. I hope you are having a great day. I am excited to share this information with you. Three things that will impact you as a home buyer. And let me tell you, the market will get better for you. And here's the reason why. Forbearances, evictions, and foreclosures. And you're probably saying to yourself, what the hell is Ryan smoking? People are talking about it. But guess what people are not doing? They're not giving you the volumes that are going to come to the market in the next 30 to 90 days that will help soften the market, lower some prices, and get you into a house. Stay tuned. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Hope you guys had a great week. Mortgage Bankers Association came out with their weekly forbearance numbers, and it's down to 1.5 million homeowners, which is 3.08% down from 3.23% last week. Key facts: 10.7% of homeowners are beginning forbearance, 161,000. 81.1% are an extension. That's at 1.22 million. Repeat, 1.22, which means they've gone past 12 months and now they're going towards 18 months, and some might even be able to get 24 months. I'm not sure on the 24 months, but stay tuned. And 8.2%, 123,000 houses are in reentry. They came back in. So, on that. Three other numbers I want you to be keen on. 28.3% of homeowners are either in a loan deferral, partial claim, equates to 425,000 houses. What does that mean? Means they've left forbearance. They did not actually make all of their payments or were past due on payments. They're currently in the loan deferral status, which gives you 30 days after you exit the the forbearance. So you can actually have time to make that next payment. There's probably a nice little subset of this 425,000 households that I don't know about that are in partial claim, and I'd really like to know that, but keep 425,000 in your mind. 16.3% of homeowners did not make all their payments and exited forbearance. That's 245,000. Keep that number in mind. And last, 1.4% of homeowners are either short sales, deed in lieu, or going through the foreclosure process. That's 21,000. So between those three, 425,000 for loan deferral partial claim, 245,000 that didn't make all their payments, and 21,000 for those people that are going to unfortunately hit that end of the road, whether it be a deed in lieu, short sale, foreclosure. That's 691,000 houses that potentially could come through the market. Now you're saying all of those are going to hit at once? No, they're going to come over time. But the other thing is, default rates vary between products and lenders. My educated guess for me as the person that's trying to give you this information and give it to you straight, I used a 3% default rate. So that equated to roughly 21,000 houses out of the 691. And then there's going to be a subset in there of homeowners that are just going to list their properties outright, say, forget the deferment, forget the forbearance. I'll make up the money because I'm going to be able to sell my house at a substantial profit. I use 25%, give or take, 173,000 houses. So that's roughly 194,000 houses. They're not all going to come to the market at once, guys. They'll be over time because they all have to go through that process. But keep that in mind, 194,000 houses. Remember, there's between 1.5 and 1.7 million homes that are actively being sold at any given time on the market. Are we getting close to that 10% or more? Yes. So that'll be good. All right, guys, topic number 2, evictions. This is self-reported data. It's the best I can get at. It's from the Census Bureau. Household Pulse Survey, week 36, the most recent that they've put out. And the definition, if you guys haven't heard it from me, here it is again. Percentage of adults in households not current on rent or mortgage, where eviction is or foreclosure in the next 2 months is either very likely or somewhat likely. And you're saying, why are we talking about foreclosure? Let me get to it. So week 36 shows 5,075,403 households that are in jeopardy of eviction or eviction or foreclosure. I went to the Federal Reserve's website where it's called FRED, and I pulled up homeowner percentages across the nation, and I took the nationwide average of 65.4%. So of the 5 million, 3.32 million are potential homeowners, 1.76 million are renters. Let's start with the renters. The eviction process, I can't tell you how many are going about because it's locked up in courts. They're backlogged. It's all a guess. It's all a crapshoot. But I can tell you this, there's hard data out there that small landlords are exiting very quickly via selling their properties. And roughly right now, 15% have exited the market and say they're not getting back in nationwide. So that's the number I'm going to go with. That would potentially bring 264,000 additional homes to the market. So there's that piece of the eviction process. I want to go back to the foreclosure. There's 3.32 million that are on this report. We already know 1.5 million are in forbearance, so that leaves 1.82 million households that are really left in this report that are hanging out in limbo. If we take the numbers from our first segment and use a 3% default rate, it's another 55,000 houses that'll come through and another 454,000 houses to be listed if we use those numbers and pull them all the way through. So at the end of the day, we're roughly about 740,000 houses right now that potentially can come to the market in the next 90 days. And they're not all going to come at the same time, guys. It's going to be over a period of time. But mark this. The market is going to be able to absorb these numbers, help decrease some prices because houses are going to sit on market longer, and it's going to move from a seller's market and start shifting towards a buyer's market. But I can't tell you that's going to completely shift over the buyer's market. Once we absorb these units, it potentially could bounce back to a seller's market, but I don't know. Until the data comes out and we can see how the houses flow into the market, it's a crapshoot for anybody. All right, guys, last but not least, it is foreclosures. And what came out on the 10th of September, August 2021, U.S. foreclosure activity rises following the end of foreclosure moratorium. And this is from Adam data via RealtyTrack. This is the front end of all this. And this is just going to be, again, I hate to use the word crapshoot, but it is. Their article states, ending in August, 15,835 U.S. properties had a foreclosure filing, default notices, scheduled auctions, or bank repossessions, up 27% from a month ago, up 60% from a year ago. Well, duh. We weren't foreclosing on any properties for the last 18, 19 months. They quote a gentleman by the name of Rick Sharga, Executive Vice President of Realty Track. He says, as expected, foreclosure activity increased as the government's foreclosure moratorium expired, but this doesn't mean we should expect to see a flood of distressed properties coming to the market. We'll continue to see foreclosure activity increase over the next 3 months as loans that were in default prior to the moratorium re-enter the foreclosure pipeline. That's the key right there, guys. They're still cleaning out the pipes from the stuff that was in prior to the pandemic last year in 2020. So with that being said, no one can tell you how much is backed up in the courts until we start seeing some data coming through, get a few extra data points, and then we can start extrapolating volume. If I just took this 15,838 and did a straight run with it for 12 months, it's 190,000 houses. It's not very much. So that being said, I want to finish this guy's quote also. He also says that it's likely that foreclosures will remain below normal levels at least through the end of the year. Very key, guys, because they're going to fine-tune the machine and they're going to start pumping foreclosures out because they are backed up. And the other thing that I can tell you that's going on, since we're on the other side of this fence, we're in the secondary market, non-performing mortgages, we buy those. Our volumes have been up month over month for the last at least 6 months. I can go back even further, 30%. Lenders do not want the bad rap of going through foreclosure, so they sell the non-performing mortgages on the open market and try to get as much money as they can for them and not have to go through the foreclosure process after 2008 downturn when you heard all those horrible stories about evictions and foreclosures. It just was crazy. So now they're gun shy. You have to be cautious of the foreclosure process because it does take a significant amount of time. Some states are judicial, some are not. Some can take 12 months to 2 years to evict somebody and foreclose on them. Some can take a matter of months. But the one thing that you have to pay attention to in the foreclosure market is that it is backed up. The volume is going to start coming out in dribs and drabs, and then it's going to pick up. And then more than likely it'll peak at a certain point. Is it going to get into the 8, 9, 10 million? I don't think so. Like the last downturn, I'm thinking it's going to be able to be absorbed to where we start getting into maybe the low millions, maybe a little bit higher, 1.5 on an annual basis. I don't think it's going to go crazy. We're going to be able to absorb it. The government is going to back some of this. So you're going to see some stoppage there. But in the end, my estimates of what I'm putting out there on a low end are 500,000 houses to roughly about 800, 900,000 houses. Might peak to 1 million. But that's over time, guys. They're not all going to be flooded all at once. So here's the piece of the video. If you're looking to buy a house, stay tight, continue to save, put money away, pay your debt off, get that debt to income ratio lower. And then as these hit the market, start looking in your neighborhoods and start watching where you want to buy and watch the houses and see how long they're sitting on market. As that starts ticking up, you should start seeing price decreases. If you have a good realtor, he or she should be able to tell you this information, share it with you, educate you, and be able to work with you on this process. Sometimes realtors, all they want to do is a quick sale, guys. You got to find the right ones. There's good ones out there. I have some myself. But you have to be educated to help direct them to what you want. Again, hold me to my numbers. Low end of 500,000. high end 900,000 over the next 90 to 120 days. We'll start seeing these come through. I'll start updating numbers as I get them. But guys, it's coming. We're not going to have a crash. We'll be able to absorb these numbers over time. Now, if they flood the market all at once, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother video. They're going to come out over time. We'll be able to absorb them. We'll be able to get some price reductions out there. And homes could start coming the other direction over a period of time, which will help them to be more affordable for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys on the other side. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Remember, communicate. We're humans. Let's get together and make this all work. I'll see you guys later.